The Detroit Lions made their selection with the 57th pick as they traded up in the 2025 NFL Draft in round 2 to select a guard. In this video, we're going to go ahead and break it all down for you with the selection of Tate Ratledge, guard from Georgia. A lot of people's going to want to know why they went guard here. There's a ton of edges. Jack Sawyer was on the board. You had other players like Mike Green was slipping. I didn't expect the Lions to go that route. Josiah Stewart, again, I had him between rounds 2 and 3. Maybe he falls to the round 3. That could be good. But let's go ahead and talk about the trade really quick so you know what to get. The Lions got 57 and pick 230, so they get an extra pick in the 7th round. The Lions lose pick 130 basically in the 4th round, so it's a pick swap. You went up a couple spots to gain their guard that they want to get, but you lose a 4th round pick. Now, a lot of people's going to say this is a bad trade. To move up 3 spots, it definitely feels like they a little bit gave up too much. With that said, you did get a pick swap there. You lose round 4, but we know we got a ton of other draft picks, right? If they really wanted to trade up into the 4th round or any other, they can absolutely do that. So I'm not too worried about the specific draft picks. I do think that the trade was a little bit off, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and get into the player himself. What are we getting from Tate here? Well, we're getting a player that has devastating power at the point of attack. He has heavy hands. He jars up defenders. He's creating an immediate displace of his ability to push the pile, his protection. He consistently wins the pad level bat, using his thick frame, strong base. The guy is a polished player from that aspect of his game. There are a lot of more still that comes about what he can do on the field for the Detroit Lions. He brings a nasty demeanor. That's exactly what we like. In the trenches, he finishes blocks. We need to run the football quite a bit, and shows impressive recovery ability when initially beating. He demonstrates excellent awareness and stunts and twists, communicates effectively with teammates. I think this is a big part of, one of the reasons why the Detroit Lions go this route. He is a A-plus type of player in regards to his personality, his work ethic. That's something that the Lions love. You all know that. But everything is not positive. He does have weaknesses, flexibility and experience. He needs a little bit more of that occasionally. He gets over-aggressive. Injury history. This is the problem, because this is what he's had throughout his durability in college, is his inability to stay healthy. And that's a problem right there. But Brad Holmes, he don't care about none of that. He's just going to go ahead and get a player and hope the guy can still be healthy throughout the season. Hand placement, needs to get a little better with defenders, is good length. But he's a guard, and you're talking about placing him right now. It will be Christian Mahogany, and I think it's going to be Tate right there, potentially on the left side. They could switch it out, right? You could put him at left guard or right guard. But now the Lions got younger on the offensive line. This was something that they talked about endlessly doing. This is not a surprise at all to go guard in the 2nd round. I've been saying they wanted to beef up the trenches. I've been saying they wanted to get the offensive line. That's what they did here. Now, grade the selection, but before we talk about what you all are going to be talking about, the edge position, grade this selection on its own, though. The player himself, A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give it an A, because they needed to get a guard for the position, but I'm going to give it a C regards to trading up, and there was other players on the board. With that said, overall, I'd say a B+. I think that's perfectly fine. He's a plug-and-play player. The Lions needed to get a guard. It was not a want, it was a need. They got that. With that said, we're going to talk about the edge position right after this quick ad given out. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. It is the best ticketing app, the #1 trusted app for me, and the app that I want you guys to get. It has so many great features, specialized in last-minute deals, and saves up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theaters. It don't matter. They have Game Time picks, making last-minute ticket buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best seats in the stadium. And there's so many events going on right now, whether it's concerts, baseball, Tigers, hockey, NBA, Pistons, a lot going on. And the best part about Game Time is that you can see the price of your ticket right up front. And when you're doing all the pricing, You're not getting surprised by hidden fees at checkout. They also have the lowest prices guaranteed. And if you find tickets that is cheaper in a different ticketing app or service in the exact same seat, same row, same everything, Game Time's going to credit you 110% of the difference. Go see the Tigers. Go see the Red Wings. Go see the Pistons. Go see concerts this summer in Detroit. So get started today and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. If you plug in Chat Sports, you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, go to the redeem code section. You plug in Chat Sports, ChatSports, to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. You have to create an account. You got to have an email to save that money. Now, the link is going to be in the comment section and description of this video. So download Game Time app. It's last-minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. All right, we're back. So let's go ahead and talk about this because everyone's going to talk about it. There's a ton of pass rushers on the board, and the Lions opted to go into a different route. I've already seen the comments. A lot of people are saying Brad Holmes just absolutely hates edges, right? He seemed to not get one ever. There were some quality players on the board. There really was. And so when I look at it, you had Jack Sawyer, you had Josiah Stewart, you had Mike Green. Again, I didn't think that they'd go that route, but the Lions opted to go offensive line. They have to, at some point, address the edge position. They got to. You think now in rounds 3, we don't have a 4th-round pick. 3, we need to potentially get an edge, or if they wanted to trade up, we do got more draft picks potentially to trade up. They need to get a wide receiver as well. I think when you look at the wide receiver position, I was thinking around 3 or 4 for a wide receiver. Now we don't currently have a 4th-round pick, so we'll see if they go up and get a receiver at least for day 2. But for sure they're going to get one day 3 if they don't today. And they have to get an edge for sure. It's got to happen at some point. But as the days go on, well, it's not the days, but the hours go on and we don't select an edge, I think Zadarius Smith coming back to the Lions makes a ton of sense. I do believe they'll get an edge. Hopefully, the next video that I make is about a pass rusher. But overall, Ratledge is going to be a plug-and-play player. That's a positive thing. We've built up the trenches. If you want to win, it's not always about the sexy player. It's always about the players in the trenches. Was Frank Ragnow a sexy player? No. Aleem McNeil a sexy player? No. Levi Onwuzurike a sexy player? Taylor Decker, you could just go around. Generally speaking, the big guys is what really helps a team out. When you look at the offensive line, too, in the first round, a lot of linemen got taken. And so it pushed. I think the Lions potentially probably wanted to take a lineman at 28, but since there was so much talent taken, they had to wait to the second round and take Ratledge here. So he's a plug-and-play guy. The Lions' offensive line should be good now for a while. You got Christian Mahogany and him up there on, wow, it's going to be a beast of an offensive line. You want to run the football? They're absolutely going to run the football now. You got Sonic. You have Knuckles. These guys are going to get it done. No doubt about it. I'm really excited to see the Lions' offense. And I'm happy they got guard. I wanted to get a guard between the first 2 picks because the importance of this offense. We give Jared Goff more time in the pocket. We open up the run game more. It's going to make this whole offense work. Losing Kevin Zeitler was a big deal. It was. He was a big piece of this offensive line. Graham Glasgow, I'm not sold on him. Played bad last year. We are good to go now from that position of going offensive line. I don't think that they go offensive line rest of the draft. And we're talking about like a 7th-round pick or something of that nature. I think they're pretty good, at least right now. They could go tackle maybe later in draft. But right now, I think it's fully focused on pass rusher, edge rusher, wide receiver, maybe safety too. Keep an eye on safety. A lot of quality safeties out there as well. But, you know, is what it is. Grade the pick, folks. Grade this pick in the comments. A, B, C, D, or F. Now let's talk about the Lions did pick up the option of Jamison, the 5th-year option of Jamison Williams and Aiden Hutchinson. We know Aiden Hutchinson's going to get extended. A lot of rumors that the Lions were going to trade Jamison Williams. I've been an advocate of absolutely not. It's a terrible idea, and I didn't think Brad Holmes would do it. Why? Because you're trying to win a Super Bowl this year. You lose Jamison Williams, you're not going to do that. So a lot of the folks out there that are wanting Jamison Williams to be traded, It's not happening. He's going to be on this roster, thankfully, because the Lions most definitely need him to be on this roster. Again, go ahead and grade the pick A, B, C, D, or F in the comments. What do you think about Tate Ratledge? And let me know your thoughts. Again, we're going to still be here, so make sure you hit that notification bell. Why is that? Because the Lions could trade up. There's still another round here. We don't know who they're going to take with the third-round pick, if they stay in the third round. But I expect edge. We'll see where Jack Sawyer and Josiah Stewart is at. Those are the two guys that I'm really keeping an eye on right now. Now, maybe they got picked while I'm talking, this 10-minute period that I'm doing right now. Hopefully, it didn't happen. Or if you're watching this video, they could have always be selected after you watch this video. I don't know, but I would hope that the Lions would target that position relatively soon. It is not a position of want. It is a position of need. We literally need two positions or two players at edge, and I'm thinking a veteran as well as a rookie. So now we're heading into the third round. Hopefully that is next. All right, folks. Again, hit that notification bell. I'll see you in the next video, hopefully relatively soon.